when I listen to his music, it kind of just give me the chills, like, you know, knowing that I'm kind of still carrying on the legacy. But just hearing how good he was and like back in that time period, it's dope. It like really give me chills. Yeah. So he named me. Like a lot of people be like, Flau'jae, what that mean? Where that come from? But he named me that because his rapper name was Camoflague. You know what I'm saying? So Flau'jae, Camouflage, Flau'jae, Monet, it kind of rhymes. So
I consider myself as a person who is a lover of hip-hop music. Thanks to the way that I grew up in their prime, even though I was a kid, I was able to experience the peaks of some of the greatest artists to ever walk the earth, including Tupac Shakur, the Notorious Big, Eminem, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Ice Cube, and even legends like Slick Rick and LL Cool J. I got to experience all of that. Also, in my opinion, I was a teenager at the time I would personally consider the golden age of down south rap, which was around the late 90s, early 2000s. In that era, I consider the golden age of down south music. There was Master P, No Limit Records, Birdman, and Cash Money Records, with a young Lil Wayne, Juvenile. Also, there was Trick Daddy, UGK, 8 Ball, and MJG, Outkast, Goody Mob, the Dirty Boys, the start of Pastor Troy, Phil Mob, and other legendary artists like T.I., Ludacris, and Boosie. I mean, in my opinion, like I stated, I feel like that era was the golden era of down south hip hop. And every now and then, there were artists that came out of nowhere, like Camouflage. I remember hearing Camouflage's Cut Friends for the first time, and I felt the same way I felt hearing Mr. Cheeks Lights Camera Action. It was something unique, and around 2003, he completely disappeared. Fast forward to 2022, it was the LSU women's basketball team, and that was the year that the entire world was glued to the beginning of the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark basketball war. But it was something that caught my ears and my attention that I was hearing about the star freshman Flau'jae Johnson's deceased father, who was the rapper Camouflage, and what were odds? Now, as far as Camouflage, until this day, his murder remains unsolved. And another thing that didn't sit right with me, what would possess a person to unalive someone in front of their children? I get that his death was retaliation from a previous unaliving, and I guess that's the reason things are settled in the streets, but that's a topic for another video. But back to Flau'jae. She was born November 3rd, 2003, to Kia Brooks in Savannah, Georgia. Now, according to Flau'jae herself, her inspirations were to never play basketball. She always wanted to follow in her father's footsteps and be a rapper. But as many parents do for their children, she was involved in sports and she became the 26th national ranked recruit in the 2022 basketball recruiting class. Her freshman year helping lead LSU to a national championship, being one of the key contributors in being nationally recognized for her talents and her first love, rapping and performing. Getting a chance to perform on America's Got Talent and also eclipsing 23 million views on YouTube on her personal page, not to mention being able to tell her story on various platforms, including her philanthropy work, just all around a great young woman, using her platforms and talents to not only put her family in a better position in life, but also giving back to the community that she came from, as well as the Baton Rouge community. And she's a young woman who carries herself as a young woman, and she's a leader. A quiet one, but she's definitely somebody that people respect. All I can take away from this, in my humble opinion, is that she's a young lady that carries herself like a young lady. As a person that has a dark skinned daughter myself, if I would want her to carry herself like a person outside the women of my family, I would pick a woman like Flau'jae because she showed and proved that it doesn't matter the image that is painted about you or your parents. You yourself can change the narrative and flip it into a positive, no matter what. Plus, she's a baller. I mean, she can really ball. Like, potentially, she's going to be a lottery pick in the 2026 WNBA draft. And I'm just happy to see a young black woman representing not only black women, but the culture in a positive way, showing that you can come from anywhere and do anything and be anybody. And by the way, while it's on my brain, January 24th, 2025, South Carolina played LSU, which in my opinion was deemed to be the game of the year. And South Carolina defeated LSU, but that's not my main gripe because South Carolina is amazing. But to DJ T.O., you're completely wrong. If you don't know what I'm referring to, after the game, DJ T.O. decided to play Flau'jae's father's famous song, Cut Friends, and from the outside looking in, it was no big deal. I mean, before I found out the details about it, I thought it was just a situation where they were paying homage to her father, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really thought that it was something that was interesting. I was like, oh man, like they're really showing her father love. But speaking to someone who actually attended the game, it was stated that the DJ played that song after the game, which the intentions were to taunt Flau'jae after the game. In my opinion, that's lower than low. And DJ T.O., you deserve everything that you're going to get because you don't do that to people. Regardless of the picture that the media paints of her father, that's still her father. And he was somebody who she never got to meet. So his music is the only tangible things that she can connect to her father with. And you took that away from her and made a mockery of it. So in my opinion, you deserve every single thing that's coming for you. Great on Coach Moki for having her back. Good on Coach Don Staley for making it known that that's not condoned for South Carolina. Great on Flau'jae for publicly handling it gracefully. Good on her for once again proving this about strong black women, that they can be bent but not broken.